Hello, I'm Robin Smith with the Rock Your Relationships Sisterhood. And today I'm talking about the power of commitment and what happens when we scare ourselves out of a commitment. So I don't know if you know this experience, but when there's something you want to do and it seems really exciting, and then you start feeling scared about it, you start giving yourself or thinking about all the reasons that you shouldn't do it. Too much time, too much energy, too much money, you'll feel too stuck, not enough freedom, all the negative consequences. So we can talk ourselves right out of something that could actually be really positive and beneficial for us. So put a yes in the comment below if you know you've done that. And I'm thinking about my own past experiences with this because I used to live with a lot of fear. I used to be scared of a lot of things. And so I would keep life really protected and safe and take a long time to make decisions. I remember so much anxiety and sleepless nights around big decisions where I would twist myself in knots about having to make the right decision and then scaring myself out of it and really kind of staying in limbo and staying on the fence. And not wanting to jump in because I was just freaking myself out about all the horrible things that could happen. And these might be decisions about a certain trip or a certain training that I wanted to do. And so put a me too in the comment if you have had this experience where commitment's been really hard. And I did this with my relationships as well, with my first fiance, which obviously we didn't go forward because we didn't get married. And, sometimes those decisions are good not to jump in. And I do feel like I made the right decision in that case. But I took a really, really long time to do it. And because I was living in fear and I was kind of going back and forth and the pros and the cons and really trying to weigh it out with my mind and scaring myself with all the horrible things that could happen. And in the end, when I really felt into what needed to happen, I got the answer, right? So let me know if you know what I'm talking about. When you get kind of too into your head, it's easy to get lost and stuck and scared and just like kind of frozen with the lack of ability to make a change, to move either one way or the other. But when you drop into your heart, something can really shift because you listen to the truth. And sometimes the heart and the mind just don't agree because the mind can get rational and the mind can scare you out of things where the heart just knows what's right. And when you're in your heart, you may be more likely to make the right choice and to trust that you can figure out the details of like the logistics and all the things that your brain is getting stuck in. I hope that makes sense. So I'm thinking about my relationship with Patrick now, and early on in the relationship, even though some things didn't make sense to me, he was a lot older. He'd already had kids. I was still like not decided about that. I kept saying yes because something felt right in my heart. I knew like, this is good for me. There's healing for me here. Even if like on paper, it's not what I thought it should be, right? He was maybe not going to be in the country very long at that time. There were other factors that made it like, ooh, I don't know. But I just kept coming back to my heart and saying yes. And, 21 years later, I'm so glad I said yes. And I can say that about some of the recent biggest decisions that I've made, where if I spent too much time thinking about it, I wouldn't be where I am today because it's so easy to talk ourselves out of things. So when I signed up for my 2-year mentorship training with a relationship coach, I was scared, and it was the biggest thing I'd ever done up to that time. I'd never spent so much money on myself. I've never made a 2-year commitment like that before to myself. And these were people I didn't know, and some of them I thought were kind of scary that I was going to spend time with. And yet so I could have talked myself out of it, right? And I could have found lots of reasons: too much money, too difficult. I had to fly down there or drive down there. It was like a 13-hour drive every time I needed to go to an event, or flying to different places in the country. I had to pay for an Airbnb every time. There was a lot of expense involved and a lot of commitment to say yes to this thing. But when I felt into it, I just knew this is going to help me. And I didn't want money to stand in the way. And I didn't want the kind of the logistical challenges to stand in the way of me getting the transformation that I knew I needed. And I'm so grateful, because it was one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life to do this 2-year course. I would definitely not be where I am today had I not taken the leap of faith and really listened to my heart and said, yes, even though it's going to be challenging, even though I'm scared, even though, I don't know if they're going to like me, even though the finances are, feeling stressful, I know it's going to be worth it. And so I took the leap of faith and I dove in with 2 feet, and I've never looked back. Best decision ever. And so I want to share that with you, because I've been talking with a lot of women who are drawn to my work, really drawn to how I teach and kind of the style, my energy, my teachings, the content of what I'm teaching, and the community that I teach within. They're feeling a yes to the program. And yet it's so easy, I'm speaking to you, if this is you, to throw up several obstacles in the way of you getting the support, the transformation that you want, and that could be so powerful for your life going forward. So I'm really reaching to you right now to say, whether it's with me or with somebody else, if you have a big decision in front of you, I want to encourage you to go down into your heart and really listen to what you want. Really listen and consider the possibility of what the outcome would be for you. Consider what, not the stuff in the way, the fear, the finances, the time, the energy, whatever those things might be for you, maybe some inconveniences, because all that stuff may be real, and I'm not denying that that's there, but you can let that take away from your growth. And do you really want that to get in the way? Do you really want to be 1 or 2 years from now, or 3 or 5 years from now, saying, darn it, I'm in the same place that I was before, and maybe I should have done that thing, because maybe I could be more free. Maybe I could be more connected to people in my life. Maybe I could have more love. Maybe I wouldn't be so anxious, right? So when you have an opportunity in front of you that you in your heart know could help you to hugely transform your life, why hold back on that? Why not do everything in your power to make it happen? That is my question for you. One thing I've noticed is when I am sitting on the fence in what we call limbo land, like, I don't know what to do. I feel frozen. I'm stuck. What if what if that happens? And all the what ifs, the negative what ifs, I feel tense and tight and like, contracted, and I can't move. And it really is a frozen feeling. And life seems to just stop as I lose sleep and get really stuck in my head. And when I make the change, when I say yes or no, but I make the change, and especially the yes, because the yes is like towards something that I want, the energy starts flowing again, and I feel excited, and I feel hope again, and I feel empowered, and like, yes, I can do this. And I step over the fence and I get into the pool, right, with what's possible. And, I'm in, and I now am, I may get scared sometimes, but I step in, and I want to invite you into that for yourself, because it can be life-changing. And I know how paralyzing it can be when you're in doubt. I have lived with a lot of doubt, which is basically another form of fear, for a lot of years. And I'm so grateful that I've shifted out of that. And I have to say that that has happened for me. I would say that that training that I did about 11 or 12 years ago now was the start. When I jumped into that, it was like, yes, I'm no longer on the fence. I have freedom. I feel like, and I knew that, like, if I needed to change my mind, it wasn't the end of the world. Maybe I would lose some money or something, but, I would be okay. And the same thing when I said yes to Patrick, like, it was a big deal to finally say yes. And then I could get off the fence of like, what should I do? What's going to be right? And I said yes to being with him, knowing that I could change my mind, knowing that even if we got married, we could choose to change our relationship. It wasn't going to be like a stuck end of the world feeling. So that's what I invite you into. When you say yes to something, I'm not saying say half yes and don't commit. I'm saying commit fully and know that you'll figure it out. You're going to be okay. You can make it work, unless you're, signing your life on the line. Things often work out, especially when we're resourceful and especially when the yes is the right yes. I've done many things in my life since that moment where I was scared. For example, picking up my whole life in California after growing up and living for, 53 years in California. And Patrick wanted to move to Costa Rica. And I was like, what? This is big. We weren't originally planning to move. We were just going to maybe have a place there and spend the winters there. And all of a sudden we're like, oh my God, we're going to sell our house and just move completely, be full-time in Costa Rica. And that was big. But I also felt the yes. And so I said, okay, let's do this. This is fun. And of course, we both know at any time we can change our minds. We could, sell, we can figure it out. We can go somewhere else. We're not trapped. And I'm blessed that way. I know I'm fortunate and I'm grateful for that. And I don't take it lightly. And I know everyone doesn't have these options, but if you do, take advantage of it. Use that. You have options, and we tend to, even when we have a lot of opportunity, we tend to still kind of limit ourselves and put ourselves in a box. So I want to invite you not to. I want to invite you to open the box and let yourself shine and go for what you want in life. Reach for the resources, reach for those who can support you, and do what you can to support yourself in the transformation and the growth and the support that you deserve. I want that for you so much. It almost hurts my heart when I see people saying no to something that they really, really want. So I want to invite you to say yes to whatever it is you want. If that's something with me, let's meet up. I'm happy to explore that with you. If it's with somebody else, great, but my message for you today is reach for the stars. This is your life. You deserve to live it fully. Don't let fear stand in your way. Of course, make skillful choices, but listen to your heart the most. And I think your heart will guide you. So I hope that's helpful. If you are someone who wants to talk to me about my work, about coaching, I know many of you have been looking at that recently. There's a link below in the comment or the description of this video, wherever you're watching. Please click that link and grab a spot on my calendar. I only have a few spots right now. I've opened up what I could. The program starts next week if you're watching this right after I'm making it. And, feel free to reach out and meet with me, and we'll see what we can do. I want you to have the support that you need, and I'd be honored to hold your hand and guide you. So thanks for listening, and have a beautiful day or evening, and I hope to see you soon. And please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're watching there, and spread the word, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.